There's this guy waving here at me. In Limpo Island area. This section right here doesn't have a name. I guess nothing passage. Anyways,
He who wishes to
he's
peer
just sitting
into
there
the
waving at me.
abyss needs simply to wander
I
through
also apologize if I
Nogcry on a
talk funny and
misty
make weird
night.
sounds because I'm sucking on a piece of candy.
The march of the wild hunt will be short.
I can't imagine how you two warriors managed to make it through the thunderstorm, but that's not the point right now. I need your help. Don't worry, there's no way we'd stand by while someone needs help. What do you need us to do? Please help me get the airspace data collector up in the air. Airspace data collector? You mean that big round machine? That's right. All we need to do is assign the strong Kubaki side of each assembly module with the collector and push them into place. Then the collector, I mean the big round machine, will fill it up into the air. That means everything's working. Alright, seeing how desperate you are, we'll help him out. Right, Traveler? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The Power of Research is the name of this quest. I love how he also doesn't tell me what his name is. That's just a check mark. Okay. Whatever. Oh, didn't stay up. To ensure the data collector is successful lift off, the assembly modules on all three panels must be pushed to their designated location, generating a strong unipolar field originated or orientated toward the collector. Yep. When in an empowered state, characters can direct their power toward red or blue unipolar assembly modules, thereby causing them to move. When the same color as assembly modules, this power will manifest as repulsion and push them away. With a different color, act as attraction and pull them in. When the assembly module is moved to a specific location, it can be interacted with, causing it to rotate. Robots will make you aware of the current state of progress regarding the preparations. Interact with them to reset the location of assembly modules. Finally, it worked. Warriors, my name is Fangel. I'm a researcher with the Fontaine Research Institute. I saw everything just now. You are absolutely incredible. May I ask your names? Paimon's Paimon, and this is Traveler. We're adventurers. Have you been stuck here for a long time? If not for the two of you, I might have been stuck much longer. You're the first ones to make it through the thunderstorm safely. Then how did you get here? You probably won't believe me, but this abnormal weather is probably a result of my being cursed. Cursed? Wait, so sciencey people really believe in that kind of thing? Indeed. In fact, that's why I got into science in the first place, to find a way to break this curse. I know it sounds crazy, but if you'd gone through half the things I have, you'd understand. Oh, he sounds just like Bennett! Whenever I cook, even when I'm just mixing a salad, it somehow catches fire. If I hang out the laundry, a tornado is guaranteed to blow it away. Things like that happen to me every single day. I call it the Fangirl effect. That really does sound unlucky. Isn't there a way to break the curse? Science, of course. That's the only way. That sounds reasonable enough, but something feels off. Isn't a blessing usually the way to break a curse? I tried all the traditional methods when I was younger, but none of them worked. In the end, it was the Fontaine Research Institute that saved me. They taught me how to fight against it. Since mixing salads caused fires, I invented a cooling system for food. In fact, that very system ended up being used in Fanta vending machines. Now everyone can easily enjoy ice cold Fanta, and that's thanks in part to the fungal effects. Henry, Henry, Henry's been so grateful for me for this. Hee. Before coming here, I learned that the extreme weather in Nakrai could be incredibly dangerous, so I made sure to install a lightning protection device on the collector just in case. Without it, the experiment would have probably failed a dozen times by now. Oh, so science really did beat the curse. You could say that, but as you saw, I get pretty flustered just now because I overlooked one critical factor. Collector might be fine, but with the fungal effect following me around, there's no way I can conduct the experiment properly. So you've been running around like this ever since you got here, until we found you? That's right. The Institute saved me, so I couldn't bring myself to go back without something to show for it. That's why your arrival is such an unexpected turning point. As I mentioned earlier, I came here to study the safety of Kubaki under the extreme weather conditions. I believe it could be a much safer energy source than Akurahem. You probably heard about the explosion at the Fontaine Research Institute, right? At its core, the accident happened because Akurahem is still too dangerous to use as an energy source. Of course we heard about it. You're looking at none other than an honorary senior researcher of the Fontaine Research Institute. Mr. Ramonado must think very highly of you. For most people, even earning the title of assistant is quite an achievement. Though I agree with Mr. Ramondo's views, things like Fanta don't really contribute much to science. What we truly need is a more reliable alternative to Akurahem. If my theory proves correct, and Kubaki really is a safer option, the Institute might even rename Fanta to Fanta in my honor. Is that really a possibility? That sounds amazing. So may I ask for your help? If you're willing to help me complete my experiment and collect the data I need, I'll make sure to propose that both of your names be added to Fanta. Fan Traveler Piemonta? That's quite an impressive name. Traveler, let's help. Alright, but I imagine sales will take quite a hit. You think the name's too long? Let's go with Fanta Paimon. Traveler, you're not joining the co-branding? How modest of you. I'll be sure to give you a special thanks in the acknowledgement section of my thesis. I managed to get the airspace data collector into the air earlier, but unfortunately, it didn't quite get high enough. All you need to do now is lift it up a little more. To get it higher, you'll need to stack more assembly modules. Simple and effective, huh? I'm counting on you. Sounds simple enough. We've got this. In that case, we shall start setting things up. When adjusting the assembly modules, just make sure the blue, strong unipolar field is facing the collector. Sure thing, let's get started. Alright, I just noticed there's a signal issue in one of the 3 channels, but it can be fixed by resetting the robot. Now let me set up the experimental parameters. Fan finishes setting the parameters for the experiment. Oh, that must be the messed up signal. Yeah, do 3 of them. What is this quest called anyways? Power of Research. We've got the data. So that means we're done here, right? I'm sorry, but we still need data from higher altitudes. That's how science research works. It's all about patience and precision. We can't rush it. Okay, but you didn't get struck by lightning when you went to see the parameters just now, did you? Maybe that curse of yours isn't as bad as you think. So with the next experiment, it has to be the two of you conducting the experiment. If I tried, something would definitely go wrong. Please, you have to believe me. Okay. Pema suddenly feels like renaming Fanta might not be enough. No problem. As long as you're willing to keep helping with the experiment, then putting your likeness on the Fanta label would be more than fair. So that means everyone who buys Fanta will get to see Paimon and Traveler on the label? Yes, you'll be known around to that. But for two scientific pioneers like yourselves, that's still a pretty modest reward. So what do you say? Shall we keep going? Will Fanta's development team really agree to that? I know Henry for years. I'm sure he'll agree if I say the right words. If not, well, we can always add his name to the label too. After all, what we seek has never been glory, but scientific progress itself. In that case, let's get back to the experiment. Excellent. I knew you were people of extraordinary insight. Once you're ready, I'll go set up the parameters for the next experiment. We're ready. We'll need high altitude data this time, so we'll need to stack 3 assembly modules for each channel. However, you'll only need to manually adjust the modules for 2 of the channels. Leave the rest to me. Fengel finishes setting the parameters for the experiment. Oh wait, it's already in the right way. Okay. I need to reset that again. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Fengal, there was an accident. The collector got hit by lightning. Yes, I saw it too. The Fengal effect. It's intensified. Even with the lightning protection device and your help, we can't hold it back. Well, things might not be that bad. Don't give up just yet. The only way to break the curse is by advancing science. Exactly. According to your theory, the only one who can defeat the Fengal effect now is you, Fengal. Oh, you're right. If I fail, this curse won't just destroy me, it will destroy everything I hold dear. If, in the end, even the Fontaine Research Institute is, I would never forgive myself. We're at a critical stage of the experiment. Based on my initial analysis, Kubaki does indeed seem safer than Arkham. But for real-world applications, that conductive phenomenon we just observed must never be allowed to happen. I have to identify the cause. The collector's crashed. It's certainly unfortunate, but what really matters is the data inside. Can I ask you to retrieve it for me? Alright, leave it to us. Please be careful. I've checked here to see if the issue was caused by the equipment itself.
Defensive mode.
Goose on the loose! A little amuse bouche! Ha! Yeah! Rah!
Okay. Actually, let's do the waypoint. I was starting to worry that Fengal effect might have gotten to you, too. So how did it go? Did you get the data? We got it, but the collector was already... I suspected as much. Design never accounted for the impact from a fall. Ugh, that was my oversight. I found a few leads on my end as well, but it's too early to draw any conclusions. I'll need to analyze them together with the data you've recovered. Give me some time to dig into it. Could you come by me again tomorrow? Good news, I've made a breakthrough. I'm 99.5% sure that the fungal effect didn't affect either of you. That's great, though Paimon wasn't really concerned about that. If it wasn't because of the fungal effect, then why did the collector get struck last time? It's because the lightning protection device inside the collector was never tested for repeated use in such a high Kavaki environment. The materials eventually gave way from fatigue. The fix is actually pretty simple. Test a bunch of materials with different parameters based on the area's Kavaki concentration, and found something way more durable. Look, this is the Notcry Aerospace Data Collector 2.0. I stayed up all night to finish it. With one final altitude test, we'll be able to determine the experiment's results. Why is the Collector 2.0 so much smaller than the previous one? Advanced models are always more compact. Oh, Paimon gets it now. So Paimon really is more advanced than Traveler. Well, that's usually true. The reason 2.0 model shrank so much this time was actually due to the limits of the materials used. I had to cut a lot of non-essential features. For example, the entire structure for lifting it into the air. Huh? If it can't get up in the air, how is it supposed to collect data from the high altitudes? It's all because, you see, many of the greatest leaps in human knowledge come with the researchers themselves step in, if it means becoming the subject of their own experiments. They say Henry Stream drank tons of thousands of bottles of Fanta to perfect the flavor we have today. You get what I'm saying, right? You want to conduct the experiment yourself? Huh? Not me. It's enough of a miracle that the fungal effect hasn't affected you two. If I were the one to try it, it'd be a total disaster. Not that I'd mind trying. Sooner or later, the curse will devour me anyway. But the research on Kuvaki is too important to be left unfinished. How about this? I'll just redesign the Fanta bottle to be shaped like you two. Or we don't even have to call it Fanta anymore. Or Fanta, excuse me. It could be Patio, Monta, or Traveler T. Tay, whatever. Please, for the sake of the scientific progress, take the cluster 2 with you into the skies. I am like falling asleep here. Since it's for scientific progress, I'll do it. Oh, so you already have a glider. That's amazing. We can check that off the list. Alright, let me explain the latest changes. Just as they occurred to me, since the thunderstorms here are bursting with Kuvaki, instead of avoiding it when I harness it. In other words, we can actively attract the lightning. This relay device was built for exactly that purpose. Attract the lightning? What does sound progress? But that's not dangerous. You'll be fine. Most of the Kavaki in the thunderstorm will be converted into an upward force field. Remaining energy will be captured by the Collector 2.0 to power the enhanced lightning protection device. Trust me, your chances of getting struck on any are no higher than 0.0067%. There's still a chance that Paimon might get struck. Statistically speaking, there is an initial risk. I mean, no proper scientist would ever claim something is 100% certain. With all the final experiment, or this will be the final experiment. Channel lightning rods to the lightning rod over there, then keep launching up and collect the data. The lightning protection device in the 2.0 will keep you safe. I'll let you know as soon as we've got enough data, and I'll do everything I can to keep you safe. So ready to go? For the sake of science. That's the spirit. For the sake of science. it collecting data?
People ought not be so frightened of ghosts. They are merely talking shadows, chattering away endlessly about their
Oh,
past affairs.
that's what I had to do. Whoopsies. And here I thought I had to have the pole get struck, and no, it was shooting me up. And probably I'll cut that part out. Their experiment was a success, just as I thought. Kuvaki has huge potential. Thank you both. This is the critical data I was missing. Once I've combined it all, I can finally get started on my thesis. I hope the research results on Kuvaki will truly achieve what Mr. Raimondo envisioned, freeing people from their reliance on Arkham. This would be an enormous step forward. Looks like we actually helped with something big. That's awesome. Indeed, progress marches forward. My thesis should be done in a year or two, and maybe in 20 or 30 we'll start to see the real impact of what we did today. 20 or 30? That long? That sort of time frame is already a breakneck breakthrough. Scientific research takes time. You know, it's all about patience and precision. We can't rush it. Right? Fine. Paimon really thought we'd get to try a bottle of Fan Fan Traveler Paimon Ta any day now. I'll be sure to suggest that to Henry and the team. Oh, and here, take the Nogcry Airspace Data Collector 2.0 as thanks for me. I've removed the data collection module since it's classified tech from the Institute. I hope you understand. It no longer has any data collection functionality, but lightning protection will work, or still works. Hopefully it'll come in handy on your ventures. Just a heads up, it only works on thunderstorms that carry Kuvaki. It wouldn't be effective against regular lightning. So once you're outside Nogcry, it probably won't be of much use. Wow, that means we'd have to worry about getting struck by lightning while we're out here exploring. Or while we're out exploring. Science really can defeat a curse. Yeah, well said. And finally, thank you both again for your contribution to science. Once I've sorted through the raw data, it's time for me to head back to the Institute and start writing my thesis. Alrighty. I got that done for now. So it's going to be it for now, and I'll see you guys later.